Eley, thanks for joining me. I know we'd talked before, and you said to me, if you ever need a last-minute guest, I'll do it. But I don't think I've used that chip yet, because this is actually, you've got something fucking awesome to talk about alongside some other awesome stuff. So we'll come on to that in a bit. I'm not going to blow it early doors, but there's just one thing you have to know, that an Eley is generally on this podcast to keep me in check.
So, no chance, mate. No chance. She doesn't do a very good job, to be fair, does she?
Well, she can't be on them all, can she?
Yeah.
Right, you watch the show, you listen to the show, so you know the drill with the question that comes up, mate. So before we do anything, I'm going to ask you the question. And I know you asked me for it before, and I'm like, nope. But it's not because it was a gotcha one. It's more because it's quite an interesting one that I wanted to see you explore in real time. So, Jake, who I had on last time, conversation descended into chaos, which was awesome. Probably. Yeah, I that bit. But he said, would you, he said, in terms of a 2K row and a 5K run, which one can you put yourself in a bigger hole in?
That's a row all day long for me.
Yeah, I wondered how you go with that, because you're such a good rower. I was like, you know what I mean? It's like one of them, innit? Like, is the hole in the running?
I'm so bad at running, and I get to a point with running where I've just like got fuck all left. Whereas with a row, like I know what I can hold, and I know I know what I could push to like a different level. I'd get in an absolute hole with it and struggle, but yeah, row all day long. It's about all I've got in the tank, to be fair. Row and a ski, that's my forte, mate.
Yeah, I guess you're right there, actually, because you know what you're capable of on the row, you're going to chase it, whereas a 5K, it's just kind of completing it and see what happens sort of thing.
And if I go too far with a run, it's game over. I'm not even carrying on. Whereas with a row, I probably know what I could do to bring it back around, if you know what I mean. Whereas a run, it's game over, mate. I'm shite at running. I'd love to be good. I've tried so hard to be better at it, but rubbish, mate. What about you?
You apply for London Marathon every year, don't you?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't get in every year. It's brilliant, mate. They send me like, oh, we're really sorry you've not got in. I think, fucking hell, I've got away with it for another year. I'm buzzing. So, yeah, one day it'll backfire.
I thought with that question when he asked it, mate, I was like, for some reason, to me, they're remarkably comparable, even though the time domains are completely different. And I think it's because I'm at about the limit of what I can run a 5K in, and I'm obviously at the limit of what I can row a 2K in, because I've done it much more. So I'd be in equal as big of a hole, but if you ask me which one I'd rather attempt again, it'd be the run. So I assume that means I'd be in a bigger hole on the row, because I'd rather do a 5K run than a. Yeah. So yeah, right, mate.
You quite like getting into that space, though, don't you? In your head, that's what you're all about. To be fair,
I call it chasing silence, mate.
We'll not dive into that early doors.
No, you're interviewing me here. We're into like. So before we're going to tell a bit of a story that culminates in you winning an amazing award at the gym. But let's start with the history of it all. So what is for those that don't know you, what is your sort of backstory and journey to fitness? Because it's pretty cool as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I'm honest, I wasn't like massively into fitness. I was just sporty. Like when I was a kid, it was just sport, and it was football mainly. Like growing up, like the second that I woke up, I was thinking about football, and it was the same till I went to bed. You were probably the same, to be fair. I suppose most teenage lads are. Fortunately, I was pretty good. And at like 14, I got scouted and ended up at Sheffield Wednesday when I was 14. Was there for a little bit, ended up getting released from there when I was 14, which was pretty terrible. It was the first time like I've been told that I wasn't good enough. So mentally, that was a little bit of a weird one.
How does that go? How does that go as well, mate? How does that go? Do they just bring you in individually, even at that age?
Well, it was a weird one for me. Like I signed a 6-week trial form, and like 6 months later, I was still there. They'd not made a decision, so they were kind of like dragging their heels a little bit. And then, just one training, they took me in, and I can remember. My memory's crap with stuff, but I can remember this like of yesterday because my dad never used to take me to football ever. Like he was a farmer, so he'd like wake up early doors, be working till late at night, like 7 days a week. He'd never take me. My mum would always take me to football. And then my dad took me this one night, and it was the night that he released me. And I just spent the whole time like crying on the way home. And he was like, for fuck's sake, why have I got this thing? So yeah, I wasn't better than the lads that they already had. The lad that was a year above me, he's had an unbelievable career in football, like great goalkeeper. So they were absolutely spot on. But it was the first time that I'd ever like been told that I wasn't good enough. So it was a bit of a weird one, like mentally. So like I said that I was never playing. I was just going to go back and play with my mates again. The next night or the next day, I got a phone call from Mansfield Town. They were like, "Will you come training tonight?" Went training, played on the Sunday. I think we beat Notts County 1-0. Played brilliant. Went to train on the Tuesday and they signed me on like a 2-year contract or whatever it was, till I was 16. And then at 16, you get like you either get offered a scholarship or you get released and it's game over basically. And I got offered a 2-year scholarship, but I rejected it, which was a bit of a weird one, really. Anyone that knows football, like Mansfield Town now are doing well. They've got like a chairman with some money and all that kind of stuff. At that point, they'd been dumped into non-league. They didn't have any money whatsoever, and I was advised to like get out. So I had a choice of 2 teams to go to. I could have gone to Doncaster Rovers, could have gone to Grimsby Town. Ended up going to Grimsby Town. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. It was the wrong decision to make for a number of reasons, which we'll probably dive into in a little bit of detail. But I'd kind of gone from being like one of the main guys at Mansfield. There was like 2 or 3 of us that were expected to kind of go on and get into the first team. There was myself and there was a lad called Tom Naylor, who's now like I think he's captain at Chesterfield actually. He's had an unbelievable career. And then another lad, and we were kind of like the main guys in that age group. Then I went to Grimsby, didn't know anybody. And as a 16-year-old, like, to put it into context, like I did my last GCSE exam, and then normally you've got like the whole summer to do whatever you want, don't you, when you finish your GCSEs? Yeah. Three days later, I moved to Grimsby, and then I'm into pre-season 4 days later, and then you're in a man's world then. But like, you're not only in a man's world, I'm there with 16 lads that I don't know, and I'm kind of, as a 16-year-old, moved away from home, trying to fit in with a load of lads that I didn't even know, trying to impress like a new coach and a new manager. And it turned out like, because I'd been offered a contract at Mansfield, they paid money for me, and that didn't suit my head well at all, because I was like, fucking hell, at 16 years of age, they paid money for me. These lads now know they paid money for me. I better perform. And I didn't perform, right? And that was the problem. And it was just like a never-ending cycle of like, yeah, it didn't go well. And like I say, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but it's a big thing as a 16-year-old to kind of move away from home and be in a completely new environment. And I was kind of stuck in 2 minds of trying to fit in with these lads and trying to make some friends, as a 16-year-old would do, and then trying to impress like on the football pitch. And it was yeah, it didn't really go that well for me.
You know, in that environment as well, like, you know, because my experience of that sort of team is more community driven. I guess, you know, in that, is it a bit more cutthroat? Are they like kind of, are the lads it's all like fake, innit? They don't want to be your friend. They want you to fail so they can succeed because they've only got that shot on it. So,
I think, yeah, in a way, like, we had a really like a good little team. Like, and the other goalkeeper, for example, he's like became one of my best friends. He was brilliant. But obviously, I want his place and he wants my place.
Yeah.
But also, when I've come into that team, like, we've been together for however many years, like, so they were all best mates. And then this random guy comes in and he's trying to take their mate's place. And every time, like, either whether I didn't play well or I didn't perform, like, it was awful, mate. Like, absolutely awful. And like, I think it was the wrong decision to make. Like, I shouldn't have gone. Like I say, hindsight's wonderful. I probably should have stayed at Mansfield and been one of the main guys there. But yeah, a few things. I had a few injuries. You don't blame it on the injuries or anything like that. But I had a couple of knee operations in the space of 2 years. I had pneumonia and I was in hospital for 4 weeks. Like, you know, when you look at it and you go, fucking hell, everything that went wrong could have gone wrong in the space of like 2.5 years. But it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is.
Mate, I reckon you'd have picked up something worse than pneumonia if you'd have moved to Mansfield.
Yeah, yeah, we'll move on from that one quickly.
So obviously, like, how long are you playing football for then? When do you sort of accept that you're going to retire? It's not going to work out.
So I did 2.5 years like full time. So like at the end of my scholarship, because I had a couple of injuries, they gave me like a little bit of an extension really. So they offered me a pro contract, which it was kind of out of just me fucking working hard and like getting back from injuries, to be fair, to give me a little bit extra time to prove myself. But then dropped out of full-time football, then played semi-pro for a little bit. So played semi-pro for about 3 or 4 years. But then as I kind of had two choices really when I came out of football, it was, I dicked around for quite a while, if I'm totally honest, like just coaching jobs and all that kind of stuff. I was still playing semi-pro football, so you get paid for it, a little bit of money, moved back home, so I'm not paying any money to be at home. And I kind of had two choices really. Like it was either going to like some kind of like teaching or coaching role, or go into like personal training. Now I was not like the fittest at all. Like if anyone's watching this that I used to play football with, like in the running, I was always the back of the running. I was a typical goalkeeper, mate. Like I dive around and was like big lad, but anything to do with running or anything like that, terrible. But I always had like a real kind of like passion to like help people. So like even when I always say like I was a better coach than I was a player. So like when we were goalkeeping training, any younger kids that have come through, I'd always look to help them. So I had two choices really, and I played about a little bit with like going into teaching, so going in to do like after school clubs and stuff like that. And I was just a glorified babysitter, mate. Like they kind of, I reckon like parents would go, oh, £4 for your kid to stay at school for another hour and a half. They didn't give a shit what I was doing. And I was like really trying really hard to like deliver these good sessions. And you've just got like little big kids just running around, not doing anything. I thought, I can't do this. So then it was going to personal training. So I thought, right, I'll try it. Like I say, my passion wasn't necessarily at the time fitness, but it was making people feel good. I had a thing about making people feel good and improving in whatever it was, whether it was football or coaching or personal training. That kind of led me into being a PT.
So I want to delve into that a little bit. So what do you think? Where do you think that stems from? Because obviously you're relatively young still there. That's quite a unique thing for someone of a youngish age to want from life, to help people. Normally, we're all selfish by nature, but especially when we're younger, all that matters is us. Like, where do you think that came from for you?
Good question, mate. I don't know. I had some really good coaches when I was younger. Like I had a goalkeeping coach at Mansfield that was just incredible, and he could not do enough for me. And I like looked up to him. He was like a mentor. Even like with my Sunday league team, like the manager at my Sunday league team, he couldn't do enough for you. Like he wanted to help you so much. And I looked up to these guys so much. But also like I had bad experiences with players that were older than us that would make us feel like absolute shit. Like we had two goalkeepers at Grimsby when myself and Lee, the other goalkeeper, were youth team goalkeepers, mate. And these two first-team goalkeepers were horrific with us, like absolutely horrendous. You'd feel like that big when you go training with the first team. And then how are you going to perform? Do you know, like as a 16, 17-year-old, how are you going to perform then?
Especially as a keeper as well, because it's pressure, innit? It's not like you can make a bad pass and then immediately recover it. You make a mistake, it's a goal goes in and you look like a twat, don't you?
Yeah, constantly in training as well, mate. Like, it's not ideal. So yeah, you were just a bag of nerves. You were a bag of nerves with them. And in my head, I was like, I don't want people to feel like that because of me. And probably that. I had some really, like I said, I had some really, really good people that I looked up to. And I think I wanted to kind of be like them sort of thing.
Yeah, and from, like when you said, I've heard you say this before as well. I don't know if it was in a social post or a sort of in conversation with someone, but when you said you only had two choices, why again, was that because those were the two choices in which you felt you could help people? Then do you think was that the driver on that? Because obviously you could have done anything, but to think that you either wanted to teach or coach is quite, they're quite specific again, aren't they?
Yeah, I think I needed to do something active. I needed to be outside. I was never massively academic. Sorry if I can't even say it. So never that academic. But do you know what I mean? Like I struggled to concentrate in the classroom. Everything was just sport and football and stuff like that. So I knew that I couldn't go into like any kind of office job or anything. So you kind of stuck with a few choices there, I suppose. And I think that because I was a good coach, I was a really, really good coach, like I say, even from a young age. Again, in my head, because I wanted to be successful, I felt like there was a cap money-wise coaching. I didn't think I could probably make as much money as what I potentially could do with personal training. And I think I really fancied kind of being my own boss and like being, kind of being in charge of what I do. Like I kind of go, the possibilities for me were endless. When I started personal training, I was like, right, go in any kind of direction here, but I'm in charge of what I'm going to do. So yeah, I think that I needed to be active. I could not be stuck in an office, which is ironic because now most of the stuff that I do is online and running a business, and I'm stuck in an office. But I've done 12 years of being active and hours and hours and hours on the gym floor. So it's a little bit different now, I suppose.
Yeah, and I guess it's an appealing prospect as well, because when you're that age as well, if you're thinking, I think it teaches you, like there's one way I've done it, and you obviously took a really good lesson from it. It teaches you that the harder you work, the more money you earn at a young age, because if you're willing to fill your diary with 8 slots a day, 9 slots a day, you're going to end at week comes and you're buzzing. So it gives you quite a good work ethic early on as well, doesn't it?
100%. And I can't remember who it was. It was a client early doors, and he went, oh, she was self-employed. And she was like, be careful, don't get greedy. And I did, because like when things started kind of kicking off for me and my personal training, it took about a year, but my personal training business took off. I did some boot camps. I was doing like 3 boot camps a week, and there were like 50 people in it, paying $5 a pop. I was doing like 40 odd personal training. I was playing semi-pro football that pays you a little bit of money. So like as a 22, 23, I thought I was Richard Branson, mate. It was fucking brilliant. Like it was amazing. But I was doing too much and then just completely burnt out. So it was kind of, it was a double-edged sword really with that, I think, to be fair.
And from a burnout point of view, like obviously you had a few challenges with stuff like that you've talked about in posts and stuff. Do you mind going into a little bit of that just as a sort of reference point for people?
No, not at all, really. I mean, my first one was, like I said, my business kind of took off. I set up the business when, what must I have been? I must have been like 22, 23. And my parents were farmers, and I set up like a gym in a little shed at the farm. Like it was tiny, like absolutely tiny. I had a few dumbbells, kettlebells.
I'm going to say, what did you have in there? Just like
multi-gym that I got when I was like 14, exercise bike, about 5 dumbbells. It was crap, and a bench, like it was crap. But it did a job. It served a purpose. And then like after a year, I started training 2 sisters, and like one of them, her and her husband, have turned out to be two of our best friends now. Like, but when I started training them, my business just took off because they told everybody. And I'd gone from doing like 10 or 12 personal training sessions a week to all of a sudden like doing 40, 45 personal training sessions 5 days a week, mate. It was mental. Whilst doing it from a shed, mate. Like people were leaving like fully fledged gyms to come to train with me. It was mad. Then doing these boot camps, and they kind of like took off. Playing football still, going out every single weekend, having a fantastic time. Like it got to a point where it was too much, and my body started to shut down. Ignored it because 22 years of age, invincible. 23, whatever. Yeah. Absolutely, I'm invincible, mate. Like nothing's going to touch me. And then eventually I ended up in hospital. For 6 weeks, and it was quite dark, and it was quite it was a bit of a struggle, really. I didn't realise kind of how bad I was when I was in hospital. They kind of kept it away from me a little bit. But yeah, I was struggling quite a lot, and it took quite a long time to recover. Ended up with a thing. I know we laugh and joke about this, but ended up with a thing when I was in there because I was ill and I had a virus. I ended up with a thing called Bell's palsy, and then we laugh and joke about the reason why I got Bell's palsy. It ended up being like my immune system was so low, and ended up with a fucking draft through my ear, mate. And if you don't know what Bell's palsy is, it's like my half my face was paralyzed. So I like woke up one morning and like my eye was dropped down here, my mouth was dropped down here. I couldn't eat, I couldn't talk. I thought, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? And that stuck around for about 8 or 9 months. That was horrendous, but. I basically did too much and completely burnt out. And stupidly didn't really learn my lesson. We opened the gym then. So like while I was in hospital, we were going through the process, like the planning of opening the gym. And then it's a whole new world of pressure, because then you've got overheads, and like I had no idea what it meant to run a business. Like Tori came on board at that point, and thank God she did, because like I didn't have a clue. I just thought I'll do some personal training sessions, pay a little bit of rent. I had no idea about business rates and like fire and water and electric. Oh mate, it was horrendous, really. But then I was like, now I've got this whole new world of pressure. I've got to do more than what I was doing before. And if I do more than what I was doing before, I'm going to end up in exactly the same position, which was basically the case. But I suppose I think anyone who runs a business, like, you've been running Defiant for however long, it's fucking hard, mate. Like, it's hard work, isn't it? And like, people don't see everything that you do, like all the ins and outs. So like, I was still, after 8 years, like, we've had a massive transition, which I know we're going to cover in a minute, like massive transition in the last 2 years. But I was 8 years in of running the gym, 10 years in of being a personal trainer, and I'm still doing like 50 to 60 hours of personal training, like sessions a week, personal training group classes. I'm running the business, I'm doing the marketing, I'm doing the social media. Like, I was doing absolutely everything, and with a 2-year-old at home, like, and eventually it just comes crashing down. Like, and I clinged on for probably 2 or 3 years, which is a long time of doing that kind of hours and that amount of pressure before, I suppose, cracking and breaking, really. And then it took that in order to change things. And like I say, we'll probably expand into that a little bit more. But
just on that then, mate, like, you know, that sort of, I don't want to say fear of letting go, because it wasn't that. Was it more that you enjoyed it so much and you thought that you owed those people, not that you, those people, your clients, you owed them your presence almost, so you wanted to be there that much? What, you know what I mean? Because obviously you had stuff going on, you had, like, obviously little man at home, but your desire to be there was still so great. Is that deep rooted need to help people just like overtaking everything again, do you think?
I think, yeah, probably it was probably a mixture of, you know, a number of different things. I think I had, mentally, I was like, I still need to be doing this. This is all I know. This is all I've done for 8 or 9 years. I still need to do this. And if I'm asking our PTs to do things, they need to see me doing it. Despite the fact that I've been doing it for however long and I do everything else around the business, I still felt like mentally, I was like, I need to be showing them that I'm doing it. But also, like, we were, like, business-wise, like, I was doing all those hours and we still weren't making any money. Do you know what I mean? So, like, financially, it's like, well, fucking hell, how can I not do what I'm doing? Because I've then got to pay somebody to do it, and we can't afford to do that. So it's like, how on earth can, like, in my head, I was like, how can that be possible? Like, because it can't. If we're not making any money when I'm doing this amount of hours, we're certainly not going to make any money if I'm not, kind of thing. But like I said, eventually, like, I broke. Like, and we, like, 2 years ago, like, I said to Tori, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So we're either gonna, I'm probably jumping the gun with the story of the gym and stuff here, but
no, go, mate,
I kind of said to Tori, I was like, we either sell the gym or I'm gonna end up closing the doors, because I've not got much left. Like, I'm struggling, and that was in my head, that was the only way out for me. I was kind of like, somebody is going to come in. They've got a phenomenal gym, like, they've got and it wasn't that I didn't enjoy the people that I was training. Our clients and our members are unbelievable. Like, we've got the most incredible community here, but I was just completely burnt out to the max, and I've been doing it for so long, and I wasn't at home enough. Like, I didn't see Oscar. Like, I live 15 minutes away from the gym, and, like, I'd see him on like a Sunday, then I wouldn't see him until a Wednesday morning. Like, and then I'd see him on a Wednesday night, and then I wouldn't see him until the Friday afternoon. It's like, what am I doing? Because I was here so early and I was leaving so late, I was like, I can't keep doing this. And then even when I was at home, there was so much pressure and stress that I wasn't present. So I was like, I want to see my son more. I don't want to do this forever. Like, and in my head, somebody was going to come in. There was going to be another version of me, or like another version of myself and Tori, and they were just going to take on this gym, this community, and they were going to build it, and it was going to be amazing. Didn't work like that. It didn't happen like that, obviously. But that was where my head was at that point.
And what's so cool about that, though, is, like, obviously that's where you were, and then rather than sort of, you know, you said your 2 options were to sell it or shut the doors, and then look at where it is now compared to then. You've still got the amazing community, but from a business point of view, the things you guys are doing, like, and the extra miles you're going while you're doing actually what appears less, but you're doing it all on the business rather than in it. It's like, it's insane. And that's a testament to both you and Tori, like, for you to be able to sort of, you know, pull back from that disappointment, have a plan that didn't maybe go quite as you thought, and then double down anyway and make the whole thing even better. You must be fucking proud, man.
Yeah, it's been a massive, it's weird because it's such a big transition. like, and my mindset's such a big transition from where it was 2 years ago. Like, it was in the absolute gutter. Like, there was no way out from there. Like, literally no way out. So to be here now, and like my like energy and enthusiasm for the gym, like over this last probably a year, it's like it's never been. It's phenomenal. So like, it must be weird for like our clients and our members to see, because like 2 years ago, I was like, I knew when we sent the email out that we sent a video out to our members that we were selling. I knew it took me so long to even send the video, to be fair, but I knew we were letting a lot of people down. And that's what I felt like. We sent the email and I went out. I went for a walk for about 3 hours. I think Tori didn't know where the hell I was, because I was like, I can't see my phone. I don't want to hear from anybody. Like, I knew that we were letting so many people down, because we were such a massive part of the community, like the driving force of it. And because it was always like, for a number of years, like myself and Tori at one point, like between us, we're doing like 70 personal training sessions a week just between us two. Like, it was such a big, every group class, everything was us two. So to then be like, yeah, we're not going to be here anymore, it was like a huge thing. And like, business wise, it was disastrous. Like, telling people that we were selling it business wise was absolutely disastrous, because within, like, being totally honest, like within like 6 weeks, we were like 5 or 6 grand a month down, because so many people left. Like, and I understand why, like, completely get why they did. But then it was kind of like, in my head, then I was like, oh, we've got a challenge now, because we're trying to sell this business, and now it's not the same business as what it was when we were trying to sell it. So we've got to build it back up. And that gave me kind of a bit of a renewed energy and a bit of a renewed drive. I then stopped personal training. And when I stopped personal training, like, it freed up like 35 hours of my week. So 35 hours of my week that I was then spending time with Oscar, and I was taking him to school and nursery. I was picking him up. I was spending time with him a weekend, and my cup was just filled. And when my cup was filled, then I had more energy, because I was like, I've got to build this business back up to where it was. And then I was like, I love this business. I love this community. I was just burnt out, and I couldn't carry on the way that I was going. And that just renewed, like, energy just came. Like, it was unbelievable. And like, to now, we've got the best team that we've ever had. Like, we've got some unbelievable PTs. We've got so, like, new members that stuck around. Like, it's unbelievable. And like, people now, even the people that were there that are still here now from when I was still doing everything, and even like when Tori was still doing everything, they're like, it's different now. There's something about it now, because now it's got somebody, for the first time in like 10 years, it's got somebody actually running it, not just doing it at 10 o'clock at night when they've finished the PT sessions and they can't sleep. We're coming up with ideas constantly. We've got a team that are coming up with ideas, and it's just, it's mint, mate. But it's so far from where it was in just 2 years. Like, frightening.
It's direction as well, isn't it? When people, because like, you've got such an invested community, when they feel that you're doubling down and it's all moving in this new direction that's actually positive, it energizes everybody, doesn't it? From the staff to the members to like you and Tori personally. Like, it's like, yeah, I think that's like, it's just the knock-on effects of those doing the right things. Just they sort of just reverberate across everything, don't they?
Yeah, 100%.
So, you know, like, when you go on, mate.
No, I was going to say, and like, the people that stuck around, like when we said we were selling, the people that stuck around, they were willing to give it a go without me here and Tori here, like, at all. They were willing to give it a go. It might have been different, but they were willing to try. And then when we said we weren't selling it, they were like, well, yeah, he might not be here as much, but he's still there. He's still the guy that's running it. And they see me, and I'm communicating with them all the time. They might not see me as much on the gym floor, but I'm still the person behind absolutely everything that happens. So it's still exactly the same gym, if not better, than it was before. So like, for those guys to have stuck around and were willing to give it a go, they're like literally like the heartbeat of what we do. Like, they're unbelievable. Like, you've been to like our community days and some stuff that we do here, and they're just brilliant, mate.
Yeah. And you know, like you said, like, you've got some staff that have now stayed for longer than, because it is quite a high turnover of staff in that industry anyway, isn't it? But to have found those people and them to stay, that's just the thing, is the culture gets fixed. Not that it was broken, but when it improves, those people want to be there. They see the progression past, because obviously I bet you're having those conversations of, right, if you stick it out, here's this, and this, because that's the reason most people leave leave gyms, isn't it? It's because like eventually it has a shelf life. But if you set out a career path for people that are working for you and they know how they get to the next level and the next level and the next level, they want to stay. They want to achieve more, don't they?
Yeah, we've got a team now that are just like, so one, they're so passionate about the job, they're passionate about like this place as well, and they want more. So like, I'm having conversations with our PTs like now, it's like, right, we did a thing, it's from Entrepreneur Circle, I know you're part of it as well, like this thing called 100%. So it's like talking to our PTs, it's like, what do you think 100% of your role looks like? And we kind of created a list together, like we do it all together, because it's 100% like, it's like a collaboration. It's not us and them, it's literally a collaboration. So we've come up with this massive list, and I was like, how should you be rewarded? Like, if you do all that, if I'm asking you to do all of this, how should you be rewarded? And they've come back with certain things, like, and not one person's gone, I want you to pay me more. Like Miles, I know you know Miles, he just wanted a new toaster, mate, because like, he thought he was going to burn the place down. He was like, I
thought he'd asked for a fucking assault bike, mate, not a toaster. But
yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like, it was like, how can we reward you if we're doing this? And everyone's just now like striving to do more and be more, and then that comes across to the members and the clients, and then they're wanting to do more, and it's created this like environment that is like magic. And I had a point when we were trying to sell it, and then I stopped PTing, and I was still working on the business. I worked from home. Like, I did not want to, because I was still in a position where like I didn't want to be in the four walls. Whereas now, like, I want to be in the four walls. Like, I'll come in, and I never ever get as much done when I'm in the office here, because people are talking and I want to talk to people and stuff like that. I'm being distracted. Like, Miles is cooking like salmon in a communal microwave, which I feel like should be it should be illegal. But do you know what I mean? I never get as much done, but I want to be around the people that are here. Do you know what I mean? Because we've created this kind of like culture now that is just, it's really addictive, to be fair. So it's a massive, again, like such a huge transition from where it was.
And there's something that you mentioned then, which I think, like, you know, I don't want to preach to the converted, but like, if people are listening to this, like, it sounds so silly, and I know we joked about it, but you asked the staff what you wanted, and all the things that one of them wanted was a toaster. But people have teams, and they're that afraid to either hold team meetings, talk to them properly, ask what they need and ask what they want, that something so simple that could make someone's life at the gym way easier, or in any role way easier, you'll miss out on if you don't have those conversations and you don't speak properly. Because if you can make his working day better by simply providing a toaster, it's a fucking no-brainer, isn't it? But if you never ask, you'd never know. And so many people, I think about roles I've had in the past where some simple thing would have made my life better and made me maybe stay a little bit longer in that role, and I was never given a forum to sort of speak about it. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I think there's been a massive shift in like my head with having those conversations. If I'm honest, I never had the energy to have the energy or the time to have those conversations. So I was so busy. I was either so busy like in actual sessions or just tired and stressed. So I'd never have those conversations. So who knows, like the team beforehand, we might have been like, if I was running the business like I am now, 6 or 7 years ago, there might have been other PTs that had been exactly the same. Like, would have had that conversation. But now it's different. There's someone like leading it, and I'm comfortable leading it, probably for the first time, which is weird. I ran a business for 12 years, and it's only like this last year where I'm comfortable having kind of conversations and like saying that I'm almost like a business owner and a leader, which is weird.
Have you called yourself an entrepreneur yet? Because that word, it's weird, isn't it?
I'm struggling. Like, I literally buzz up Entrepreneur Circle, mate. But I'm with you, mate. I'm with you.
Well, we did a show about me and Tori, didn't we? Like, is an entrepreneur a twat or something? I think might have been the title. But it is, because whenever I've heard it before, it's them. You know, it's them wankers with tan and white teeth going, oh, what do you do? I'm an entrepreneur. Well, that's not a thing. What do you actually fucking do?
What do you do? Like, I'm a gym owner. That's what I am. Like, I'm a gym owner.
You're a gym marketer, mate. That's what they'll tell you at the EC, isn't it?
No, I literally, like, you're probably the same as me. Like, I absolutely love them. We went to the new office last week. Like, insane. Like, and what they do and them helping us with our business, they've been incredible. But yeah, I'm not at the point of saying I'm an entrepreneur yet. I don't think.
I'm interested. We've got a podcast lined up with the MD. Like, Cameron, and I'm going to delve into things like that with him because it should be quite interesting. But that's going to be fun, and that'll be the first time I go down to the new offices, so I'm buzzing about that, mate.
Mate, so good, mate. It's so good.
So we've talked about the journey that the gym's been on, from rundown, washed up goalkeeper in a shed to successful gym owner that's been on a sort of journey of self-discovery and sort of finding the best ways of working, becoming more approachable, becoming an entrepreneur. So before we go into your online stuff that runs parallel to this, so that people didn't think you were doing nothing now that you took an upstairs seat at Eley, let's talk about this award, because this culminates, this journey culminates in something that, every time I mention it, I see a little smile come on your face. It's like, you must be so proud. So first, just give us a little bit of background about the award itself and how that happens.
So we got an email through from the England Business Awards, and it was like, someone has nominated you for best health and fitness business in the East Midlands, which sounds nice, doesn't it? And we've been nominated for a few awards before and stuff like that, but nothing that kind of stuck out. And I was like, oh, do you know what? We should go for this. This looks brilliant. Marketing wise, obviously, because I'm a marketer now, it would look good to do it. But actually, I was kind of like, do you know the journey that we've been on? We've literally been in the pits. We've come so far, not just in the last 2 years, but over the last 10 years. I was like, this would be really fucking nice to have a go, and see if we can win it. So we said yes, let's go for it. You try and get votes, and we asked our members to vote. We didn't pepper it. Some people in these things are just pepper absolutely everybody to get votes. We put it on our social medias. We asked people to vote, but then it kind of goes off a little bit of merit as well. So they do a little bit of a deep dive into your business. So they send somebody out to look at your business. So it could be just someone that might have inquired, come to a gym session, maybe as a one-off, or we do free trials and stuff like that. You don't know.
Mystery shopper style.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's
they don't
cool.
tell you. They don't tell you, but then it's okay. So they actually have a look into your business. I got a phone call in the week. So it was the awards night on the Sunday. Got a phone call in the week, and I just got quizzed about our business, and I was like, "Ooh, do you know what we might have a chance." So we took some of our guys on Sunday to the Crown Plaza in Nottingham, and we got to the final. I think we got to the final 3 or 5 or whatever it was. So we went there, and we went on Sunday, all suited and booted. First time we've ever been to one, in 10 years of business. It was this is wicked, because literally the weekend before was our 10th birthday. So I was like, this is cool. This all runs quite nice.
Yeah.
And then the first few awards went up, and people were doing speeches on stage, and I was like, fuck, I've not planned anything here. I was like, I don't want to jump the gun, but I also don't want to go on stage and look like a knob. So I was like, I don't drink as much now. A bit like you, we obviously go out all the time. Don't drink as much now. And I'd had about 5 beers at this point, and I thought I could say anything. I was on my way. So I literally, in the interval, I took myself to the toilet, and I thought, if I go up there and we win, I need to say something that's not stupid. So I kind of went over a couple of things in my head. And then it got to our category, best health and fitness business in the East Midlands, and they called our name out, which was just epic, to be fair. And it was so nice because it was an accumulation of going fucking well done. Do you know what I mean? You have literally been to the bare bones of can't do it anymore. I've put in so many hours, and Tori's put in so many hours and so many sleepless nights, and we're both very, very similar. When we wake up in the morning, we'll think about work. When we go to bed, we think about work. Tori's got about 100 businesses on she now, however many that's going off in her head. I've got the business, and I've got my online coaching and my clients, and constantly thinking about work. And it's been hard. 10 years has been hard. So it was accumulation of being really, really proud of us two, and then of everybody in the 4 walls, because we can have as many ideas as we want to build this community-based gym that we want to build, but if you don't have the right people in the gym, it isn't going to happen. And the people that are in our 4 walls are just unbelievable. So I feel it was just a massive, I was just proud of everybody that was part of it. Our PTs, some of our PTs came to the awards night, so it was so nice for them to be there. I was proud of our members, and I was just fucking really proud of Tori and myself, to be fair, because Yeah, to get like a little bit of recognition. What it means, I've got no idea. Like, do you know what I mean? There's hundreds of gyms that won't have been nominated that'll be fantastic, but just to be up there and to be recognised like that after the last sort of 2 or 3 years that we had, I thought was pretty epic. To be fair,
it is, and I don't think you should play it down like that because, like, I think they've sent someone out to all the gyms that were nominated. So you've obviously ranked above all the gyms. They'll have got that vibe of that community. They'll have got that energy from your staff that you've created by that, that environment that you've cultivated. And then also having like you said, you didn't pepper it, and having an engaged enough community that they wanted to vote for you. You remember from playing football, best award to get with Players Player. You know what I mean? That was the one people wanted. You didn't want Managers Award. You wanted Players Player. You wanted to, know that people that you looked up to and that you respected felt the same. So I think it's fucking awesome, mate. And it's just like when you've been on that journey, it's just like, and one thing, did you get the feeling, just as they're announcing it, did you know? Did you think, that's fucking us, mate? No.
Everyone else said they did. I didn't, because I think I'd always play on the side of like caution and be like, yeah, no, let's not get upset if we don't win. We've had a good night out, like we've had a few beers. So I was kind of like, no, I would have been disappointed. If I thought we were going to win and then we hadn't, I'd have been a bit like, so I kind of played it down massively. But that feeling, it was weird. Like I've not had a feeling like that for so long. Like, just like I was so happy and so proud. And yeah, then the next day, like we put it on our social media. And the next day was so overwhelming. One, I was a bit hungover, which wasn't ideal because I don't drink anymore and I had so much to do. But there were so many messages that came through, like current members, old members, like some people haven't been for 5 or 6 years. It just like took the time out to send me a message and go like, you really deserve that. Like, well done. I was like, no, it's mint. It was mint, mate. It was so good. And then we go to, so now you're in like a national final. So in like November. So we are going to pepper that. We're going to get as many people to vote for us for that one as possible, because that would look, even at the moment, we're like best in the East Midlands. Imagine if you say you're the best in the country. That marketing wise, that looks even better.
Yeah, fucking hell, mate. 100%. So that obviously is amazing, and like you're proud, and so you should be. But you've also, alongside this, in this last 2 years, while you've been building the gym up to the best position it's ever been in, you've been building your own personal business that is obviously in the realms of fitness, your online PT. So can you tell us a little bit about like the idea for that, and then how that's gone for the last sort of 2 years? It is about 2 years you've been doing that, isn't it?
Yeah. So like my big idea when we were selling the gym, the whole thing about selling the gym, I was completely, like I say, burnt out. But like I wanted to spend more time with Oscar. Like for me, I couldn't do anything else apart from being in the fitness industry. I'm really, really passionate about it now. I'm really, really passionate about helping people, etc. By going online, I could be more present at home, all that kind of stuff. So I set up doing some online. And if I'm honest, like I've dipped my toe in for the last kind of 2 years, because when we decided not to sell the gym, it needed a lot of work. So like my focus was there. So I've kind of got it in the background, building it up. And now we're in a position where the things that I've kind of put in place in the gym are there now. It's in a really, really good position. So I'm kind of just like running it from here. I had that kind of burning desire to coach and to help people, like we spoke about earlier on. So I was kind of missing something. I love the business side of things. I love the marketing side of things. I love like trying to grow our business and our community be amazing, all that kind of stuff. But I was missing something. So I've now kind of my almost like day-to-day stuff is coaching online. And I think where people don't understand what coaching online is, like people go back to like COVID days and go, fucking hell, you're doing star jumps in your living room. Like, and it isn't that. Like I'm not doing star jumps in my living room. It's basically, I work with dads now. Like I've kind of niched down and work with dads like in the 30s, 40s that I suppose are in the position I was a couple of years ago. So like probably career driven, like loads of pressure with family, career, all that kind of stuff, and completely lost the way, because 2 years ago, like not only was I kind of like burnt out, like mentally, like physically, I wasn't looking after myself at all. Like I was kind of going through the motions training, like not doing the basics. So I kind of like created a bit of a system that worked for me to get me back into the position where I was feeling good. And now I've kind of moved that into an actual like framework that I work with my clients. And I really enjoy working with dads because I get them and they get me, and I completely understand. I had a discovery call with someone last week, and everything he was saying, I was like, fuck me, mate. I was like, this is me 2 years ago. And this is what I've done in order to get me to where I am now. Like, you can do it. And he signed up, which is amazing. I'm buzzing about like working with him. Like, I get so excited about taking people from kind of where I was to feeling good again. So yeah, it's good. It's good. It's weird though, because like online training, like, is so different to the gym. Like, I thought I'm just going to transition from being a gym owner, being a PT face to face, to online, and like the technology side of things and building all the systems. I'm like, well, I didn't have a clue what I was doing initially. I know how to coach people, I know what I want to do, but getting it all kind of like systemized online was difficult. But now, like, everything's kind of raring to go, and now the gym's in a position where I'm really, really comfortable with it, and we've got really good people, like PT wise. A big focus of mine is like pushing my online.
And I guess like, what's cool about you like refining your customer avatar to that, like, you've got that experience, but also you'll kind of learn a little bit from them as well, won't you, in a weird sort of way? Even though you're the coach, you're going to take things from each thing that not only make you a better coach, but maybe a better dad as well, because you're all in the same sort of boat. So
we're having the same conversations. We're in the same, and because I'm working with like people in the same kind of like age bracket as me, all the kids are similar ages, unless you've got a kid when you're really, really young or whatever. All the kids are in the same kind of ages. Like, one of my clients, I speak to him every single day, but not even like client wise, like, just because we chat about the kids and all that kind of stuff. And it's brilliant. Like, some of my best, I'll be totally honest, like, some of my best friends have come from being clients, because you build that kind of relationship up with them. And for me, that's one of my kind of big things with the gym. I can build relationships with people that they feel really, really comfortable and safe and all that kind of stuff in the gym. And it's exactly the same with my online. Then they trust me that the advice that I'm going to give them, they know that I am giving them that advice to make them feel better. I'm not asking them to do anything that is going to completely overhaul their life. It's for the greater good. And because they trust me, they're willing to give it a go. But like, my coaching style is probably quite different to a lot of coaches. Like, I always say, my coaching style is like, it's a collaboration. Like, it's not a dictatorship. Like, I'm not going to say to somebody, here's a PDF file, you need to eat this at these times, you need to do this, you need to train 6 days a week. It's because when you've got kids and you've got a like work, life is so fucking different, like so different. So we communicate, and I find out everything about their life, and then we do it step by step. And it's like, find some easy wins, okay, get those easy wins in there, build a little bit of momentum, and then go from there. And then the journey, it's not I always say, like, my way of coaching isn't really very sexy to sell, because I'm saying that this journey might take you 6 months, 9 months, but you're going to be like this forever. Like, I'm not telling you that you're going to have your dream body in the next 8 or 12 weeks, because as a dad who's like already burnt out, stressed out, overhauling absolutely everything in your life is not going to last very long. So yeah, everything that we kind of do is we collaborate. I come up with ideas, I put them to them, and if they say that's not going to work, then I'll tweak it. And I'm like, what about this? And then what about this? And that's the kind of journey that we go on. And it seems to work. I love it, mate. I love it. Like I say, it's kind of brought 2 years ago, I needed to get out of the fitness industry. I needed to get out of the gym. I needed to get out of coaching, really. Whereas now, like, I absolutely buzz off it again.
And I guess that when you get, if you've got clients coming to you, because we're in a fucking world of instant gratification, everyone wants everything yesterday, don't they? If someone comes to you and you say, look, we're looking at a 6 to 9 month plan here, and they're not put off by that, then that in their head, they've got that mentality, and you can work with them then, can't you?
100%. That's it's one of the things that we say, like, if you want a quick fix, I'll be totally honest with you. If you want a quick fix, if you want an 8 or 12 week transformation, I'm the wrong guy for you. Like, because I'm not interested. I will not do anything. I will not tell you to do anything that I think will be detrimental to you long term. So I'm not interested. And there'll be loads of people that will do it, like, fine. And some people will go and do an 8 or 12 week transformation, cut everything out of the diet, stop drinking for 12 weeks, and have a phenomenal before and after photo. and it might look fantastic on Instagram, but it's a marketing thing. Like that's going to sell to somebody else, but they haven't seen the true picture. So it might look sexy on Instagram, but the true picture isn't, you know. And I always say, like, if you see a really good before and after photo on Instagram, I want to see the after photo of the after photo.
Yeah.
So I want to see what they look like eight weeks after, because 9 times out of 10, they aren't looking like that anymore. And the problem is, when you do something like that, if you have this unbelievable transformation in 8 to 12 weeks, you do these photo shoots like people do, all that. I'm not knocking it whatsoever. It's fine. It works for some people. But then if you start to like put a little bit of weight on, because you can't continue doing everything that you were doing, if you start to put a little bit of weight on, mentally, they're like, oh my God, they start panicking. And then things start to spiral massively out of control. Whereas with us, it's slower, but we're building momentum. And by sort of 4, 5, 6 months, they've built a lifestyle that's going to work for them long term. And no one loses weight to fucking put it back on, do they? Like, do you know what I mean? No. So if you can try and build something that is sustainable, I think you're winning. But it's, again, like, it's not as sexy to sell, is it? But
no, but then you start to enjoy the process as well, don't you? Like, and that's part of it then, because you realise you can have a bit of everything, I guess. Not like me going to Yatesy 2 weeks ago. Right, I've got 2 weeks to get an ab. How do I do that? I think you said start 6 months ago, you twat.
Yeah. It's good advice.
Yeah, but like, if there's anyone to ask, it's him, isn't there? He could spare a few.
I had such a wicked conversation with him at Defiant Games. I think we were meant to be like working or volunteering, but we had like half an hour where we just spoke business, and it was like one of my favourite half an hours of the day, because like I took like little bits from him that I'm starting to implement at Eley Fitness, and he got his notes out and was like, "Oh, I've not thought of that. That's brilliant," and I buzz off that, like absolutely buzz off it.
He's so passionate about it as well, and he's so helpful. He wants to help everyone. I was just looking at my phone, mate, because he sent me his InBody. So my man's 101 kg, 57.6 kg muscle, 4.1% body fat.
4.1?
Yeah.
He's
outrageous.
I can remember first seeing him and I was like, what on earth is that? Like, he is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen arms like it. But then when you speak to him, like, and I probably only spoke to him for the first time maybe 18 months ago, I was like, fuck me, you're one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. And like I said, he's so passionate about fitness and helping people and all that kind of stuff. He's mint, mate. Absolutely mint.
Yes, he's a top bloke. So I think we've about covered everything, mate. So your last duty as a guest on this show is to leave a question for our next man. I'll not tell you what it is. Well, you wouldn't know him anyway, I don't think. So it won't matter. So if you can leave us a question, we'll because we're away, aren't we? We're on a joint holiday. We're going to a wedding, so we need to go and get packing, mate. So we're there in a couple of days. But actually, just one thing, I guess, just as one last learn for people that maybe are trying to take something like that. The holiday's a great example. Like, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but this must be one of the first times in your life you're actually going on a holiday and will probably not have to think or worry about work. What's that fucking feel like?
Yeah, it's a weird. I've literally written a post that's going out in like a week's time, and this is a weird one. Like 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, and this sounds mad. Like we went to the Maldives. I went to the Maldives with Mum and Dad and Tori and Oscar. Like Oscar's 18 months old, and it is the most beautiful place that you can ever go in your life. Like frightening. Like just insane. And I was a dick for probably 6 or 7 days of the 10 that were there. And I was, because I couldn't switch off. I was stressed. I wasn't present. Like, and just the way that my head was working, I was just thinking about work constantly. I'm in absolute paradise, and I couldn't switch off because things would go like, I'm not doing open heart surgery. Like, I'm running a gym. Like, whatever happens, we can deal with it. But I couldn't, the way my brain was wired at that point. Whereas now, like, we're going to go, when we're going Friday, we're going away on Friday, and unless there's something disastrous happens, the PTs that we've got now, they'll not contact me because they know what to do. Like, they'll just deal with it. Like, they're all a kind of level, and like, to go away and not have to worry about work is something I never thought that I would have to do. Like, we will do bits and bobs of work. Like, in a morning, I will touch base with my online clients, all that kind of stuff, and I'll probably do exactly the same at night. But it'll be half an hour. Whereas before, I'd be sat in my sun lounger just.
And the difference is, you want to do that. You don't need to.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's something different in that, isn't there?
Complete different.
Because it don't feel like work, does it? Right, I'm going to have an hour now just because I want to, and then I'm going to get on with my day, and it's just good that.
That's the difference, and I think that's with you. Like you, I've seen like you work so hard over the last, whether it be 2 years, 18 months. You've always worked hard with Defiant Co, but there's like been a mindset shift, and people that don't understand that mindset shift think you're being weird or like, oh, what's wrong with you? Why are you always working? But when you enjoy work, like it's sad. There's like the old cliche, isn't it? Like, oh, you'll never do a day of work again if you enjoy it. But like if you actually enjoy it, it's a pleasure to do it. And the difference is now, probably for yourself and for me, is like I really enjoy what I'm doing. So like logging on in the morning, you know, while Oscar's watching fucking Sonic or whatever, you know, chilling out in the morning and just doing whatever I need to do, and then I can go and switch off for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
and actually switch off for the rest of the day. I'll be in the swimming pool with Oscar for about 9 hours a day, and I'm going to drag you in with me, mate.
Mate, I'll do you a 45-minute stint here and there, then I'll disappear. But like it's funny you say that about work. Like this is the first time I've gone away, and I've actually put an almost outer office. I just basically sent an email out to our database and said, "I'm going on holiday. If you want to order anything, order now, or you'll have to wait till we get back."
Yeah.
And it's just that sort of. People understand that we're a small business, you know what I mean? We don't have unlimited resources. And if you support that sort of message, which most people do, then they're supportive of the fact that everyone deserves a holiday, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And I think you've got your kind of like, with your podcast and all that kind of stuff, people see more of the insight of like you now. So they get to know you and they buy into you, don't they? And Tori, obviously. So you go and have a holiday, like they can't get a hoodie for 10 days, sound.
Yeah.
Whereas before you'd have been like, if they don't get a hoodie for 10 days, like all hell's going to break loose.
Yeah, well, I was looking at getting someone in to live in and do stuff for me, someone that I work with. Yeah, because like, and then I was just like, well, actually, you know, for those orders that do come in, if they understand, and you can nurture them as well.
Respect it more, and I think people will respect it more. Like,
and it's all marketing. Like I'll be engaged. I'll have an hour or hour and a half because I get up really early anyway. If anyone does order in that time, I'll email them and just say, thanks for your order. Hope you saw our message that we're away. It'll be shipped on this date. And you know what I mean? Because then I'm still providing that good customer experience that we pride ourselves on, but not worried about the fact that they're going to wait. And yeah, I think it's just a positive, isn't it? And then when that positivity comes, it bleeds into everything then, mate.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, come on then. Leave a question for my next man.
Right. Okay. So, what's a belief you held 10 years ago that you no longer believe now, and what is it that's changed? I think we kind of like dove into that. You know, like we said about the conversation I had with Yatesy. Like, I spent 8 years of like business thinking that I knew best. Like, I wouldn't ask for help for anything. Like, I need to do everything. I'm in control. And then the second, like 2 years ago, that I started like reaching out for help, everything changed. You know, absolutely everything changed because you get other ideas, you hear it from a different perspective, and it's just so fucking powerful.
The less you know, the more you know.
Yeah, 100%. What was it? I can't remember if it was a podcast or a book, and it was like, if you're you might have even said it, to be fair, like if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
I think it's Hill Mosey, mate. I'm sure I've seen him say something like that. Yeah, like. But I'll give you mine quick, mate. Belief I held 10 years ago that's changed. I used to think cottage cheese were wank, and now the macros of it are superb. So mine's cottage cheese is the future.
Top dog. Well, then
there you go.
Powerful. That is powerful.
Right. Cheers for jumping on, mate.
Man. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.